Welcome, everybody. My name is Brooke. I am your host of the Madworld podcast. Today, we have Ben Giles of Laughable Productions. He does a little bit of everything. Dinner theater, comedy, he dabbles in competitions, and recently he just started doing reviews. Ben, thank you for coming on.
Psyched to be here.
Psyched. I love that. I love psyched.
Thanks for having me.
I want you to just start us off by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Like you said, my name's Ben. I am what you may call the Chief Laugh Officer at Laughable Productions. I have many titles there. Chief Laugh Officer, I think, is my favorite. But I started Laughable Productions back in 2019, wanting to bring more comedy and entertainment to the Fox Valley. And yeah, it really evolved from there. I mean, we've been doing a ton of stuff in my personal life. You know, I have a wife and an amazing kid. I also have an amazing wife, too. I think I should add that. You know, there is no amazing kid without the amazing wife.
Yeah.
We have 2 dogs, 2 cats.
Hell yeah.
We live in Oshkosh. And yeah, I have done a ton of stuff, you know, obviously really involved with comedy and producing events.
Yep.
Right now I have a day job, you know, I sell stone. That's stone countertops.
Hell yeah.
Big slabs of stone, you know, I just go slinging those all day. And I've been in politics before. And yeah, if you Google my name, you'll probably find some interesting things about local politics in the city of Fond du Lac. But yeah, now I'm just a family man that's trying to produce some awesome fun events and, you know, paying the bills by slinging some slabs.
I love that we agreed not to talk about the politics stuff, and you were just...
Yeah, I mean, it's a part of...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a part of me. I mean, we're not going to talk about it tonight, maybe,
Right.
but, you know, for a long time, I didn't talk about it at all, actually. Like, I really didn't want to talk about it. You know, it was like 4 years of my life that was, like, really good, really bad. And then there came a time, you know, I don't know, probably 6 months ago, where I was just like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to start talking about it again, and... Then people, I mean, a lot of people in Fond du Lac either hate me or love me. And the people that hate me, anytime I do anything around Fond du Lac, people are always like coming at me and trying to bring up old stuff. And I'm like,
Right.
this is old news. Like, I've moved on. Fond du Lac should have moved on by now. And I don't know why I'm living rent free in your head, but
Right.
thank you.
Because you're handsome. So, like you said, we don't have to talk about that right now. What were you doing necessarily before Laughable Productions?
Yeah.
Because have you been throwing stone the whole time?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I've been throwing stones for the last 3 years. Before Laughable Productions, I was involved in politics. I worked in politics in Madison for a while. I worked at the YMCA for a bit. Involved in a lot of theater. Like, growing up, I was a theater kid. I also played sports. You know, I was like kind of like Troy Bolton. You know, just the fatter version of Troy Bolton. But you know, then when I got to college, it was like, oh, you can't do theater here unless you're a theater major. And I was like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And my friends were like, hey, there's this improv comedy group. You can maybe try out for that. And so I started doing improv in college at UW-Madison, and it was super fun. I did that until I graduated. And then I started doing dinner theaters in Madison. And then when I moved back to Fond du Lac, I was like, where's all the comedy? Where's all the you know, the funny? And I thought, let's start producing some stuff here so that we can, you know, bring some more fun, lively things to do to the area, and that's what we did. The first one that I ever did, the first dinner theater I did, was actually a fundraiser for my youth and government program at the Y, and it went really well. We did it again. That one went really well. We sent a bunch of kids to this model government conference at the Capitol with the funds we raised, and so then I was like, let's start doing this as a business. So yeah, we wrote some scripts and started doing some shows, and then 8 months later, COVID happened. Oof. And that was a big oof. That sucked. But then we did virtual stuff. We pivoted. It's always, Laughable Productions has always been kind of a side gig. Like, you know, I obviously care about it. I'm very passionate about it.
So you're pretty busy for a side gig.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've brought on some producers, and I've kind of tried to balance, you know, my personal life, and obviously my day job comes first,
right?
Because that's the one that actually pays the bills. But I will say, like, it has always been a side gig, and it's always been like a passion project for me. So, getting to be able to do things like this and, just go out and host Oshkosh's Funniest, or, do dinner theaters. We got a dinner theater at the Pabst coming up at the end of the month, the Pabst Historic Brewery.
What day is that real quick?
May 29th.
May 29th.
Yeah, it's at the Pabst Brewery in Milwaukee. It's selling really well. Very excited for that. I've never been to the Pabst Brewery, so I'm super excited to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to be
it's
there.
A beautiful building.
Yeah, I've heard. I've seen pictures, and my producer obviously booked the show. But yeah, I'm going to be there detectiving, and very excited about that. And it's a fun outlet, It's like slinging slabs is fun, but it's a serious thing. Like I'm very serious in my 9-to-5 job, and then this is a really nice outlet for passion and fun.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. So you were definitely willing. You definitely told us how Laughable started.
Yeah.
Do you remember the moment in time when you knew that you were going to be a theater kid? When you were younger, what was that moment like for you when you realized performing is what I want to do? I just have to figure that out.
It's a good question. I always really enjoyed, I liked the idea of performing, but I was always too shy to do it. And my mom used to run Sunday school at church, and they used to do these skits. And they would ask me to do these skits. So I was 5th, 6th grade, and I would do these skits for younger kids that helped teach stories about Bible and God. And that's kind of how I got my start. I got really into it. I'd memorize all my lines, and a lot of other people, or a lot of adults that were doing the skits, were bringing their booklet up, and I would always memorize everything. But then I think when I really got serious about it is my best friend's mom. Shout out Mrs. Clementi. If you're watching this, I know you're not, but you deserve a shout out. She convinced me to try out for the 7th grade play, or the play when I was in 7th grade. And I ended up getting the lead, and it was called The Idiot's Guide to High School. It was a very stupid play, but I had so much fun doing it. And that was the first play I was ever in. And then I was hooked from then on. Next year was The Wizard of Oz. Got to be the lion in The Wizard of Oz. And then, I just didn't stop. And then I got to college, and they said, you have to stop. So that's when comedy came in.
No, you're done. You're done now.
Yeah.
You're done now. So there's a lot that goes into a dinner theater. I would argue, I know nothing about dinner theaters, and I could probably argue 3 times as much than a comedy show.
Oh, absolutely.
What kind of effort does it take to balance what I believe are the 3 main factors? It's going to be the environment of which you're in. So you're going to Pabst, that's a rustic environment kind of look. Do you then have to match, or not maybe necessarily match, but you have to kind of theme the food to it as well? And then on top of that, you have to keep together an acting crew.
Yep.
If there's any tech people, they have to keep their heads on straight. How do you balance all of that to make what would be, to the consumer, an extremely pleasant and fun night?
Yeah. Well, definitely the environment is very important. Finding the right place to do it is probably number one. There's a lot of factors that we look into when we figure out where we're going to go, because we don't have a home base, right? We rent out venues to put these on. And so finding the space is really important. The dinner is also very important. I mean, this is a high ticket item. People pay $60 to $120 for a ticket for this, and often it's a 3, 4, 5 course meal. And with that, you got to find the right caterer, especially if it's not in-house, because then you're, the logistics of catering when it's not in-house adds a whole nother thing to it. And then, we have 8 to 12 actors for every show. And then there is, that technical side of it, and microphones, sometimes audio, visual. All of that is it's very stressful leading up to the show. We do a dress rehearsal in the space, 2 hours before the show, and you don't want to see me during that dress rehearsal. I feel like everyone, if you ask my cast, everyone hates me from 5 to 7 before a show, because I'm just and then the show starts, and you kind of loosen up. It's a lot of improv. Like there's structured script and there's like bits and there's clues, but like a lot of it's audience interaction. So as soon as you get into that space and you're starting to move around and you're starting to do stuff and people are laughing, like it definitely like brings me back down to earth, and I'm like not bearing all the stress on my shoulders and yelling at people.
So you had mentioned the audience.
Yeah.
With having the audience. Well, okay, let me ask first. When you're doing the play, and I've just seen photos, like I said, I've never been to a dinner theater event before. Are you guys often acting around the people eating?
Yeah.
Okay.
So imagine like a banquet hall with like rounds and everyone's seated, and like the show happens in between the tables. Yep.
Okay. So then I guess a couple questions off that. My fear, like if I were like just to try and put it on, is that they'd be either focused on eating and like just not watching the show, or like by the time they finally get to eating, like the food might be cold.
Yeah.
How does that work out? Because I feel like, especially while people are eating, there could be some like disasters, I guess let's call it, going on during the show.
Yep.
So like, has there anything ever happened where a disaster from someone trying to just be around kind of made a memory in the show that like resonated with people? Yeah,
I would say we structure it pretty well. So like there's 4 different acts, and you kind of structure your courses in between acts. And so people are oftentimes eating during breaks, and then sometimes there'll be some overflow of eating into the next act. But people are usually pretty good about eating and watching, especially when it's all around you. It's like.
So then how long is a dinner theater event?
About 2.5 hours.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and everyone's a suspect. Like if you come to the dinner theater, you put an alias on, you're not yourself.
Okay.
And then there's, some planted actors that are in the audience that you don't know are actors. And then, people, you can pay for a special interrogation. So if you want to be like a bigger part of the show, you can, surprise someone in your party. Typically, it's best done as a surprise. Like you're like, oh, it's my mom's birthday and we're going out to this thing. You pay $15 and we bring her up and interrogate her. And we have a lot of other gimmicks that we do. I'll save those for people that actually come to the show.
Yeah, definitely don't
want to spoil it. But the audience interaction is super fun because a lot of people, like, we're pretty good at picking up on people that want to be picked on. Like if you're at the show and you got your head down and you're not like making eye contact or like engaging, it makes for a really bad show if you pick on people that don't want to be picked on. But if you pick on the right people, oftentimes they provide some of the best content, like especially if they're a couple drinks in, they're feeling themselves, and then like if they're with a big group, like their group just thinks it's hilarious and it lights up the room. So there's a lot of like little things you pick up over time.
So to an extent, that chaos is almost like the fun of the show.
Oh, for sure.
Like something is probably going to happen. You're just not sure how big it will happen.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's theater with like a little bit of improv crowd work.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. A lot of improv crowd work. Yeah.
I was excited because I talked to Stephanie Ann after you guys did that '90s prom one, right? Yeah. That looked super fun.
It was.
But I had asked her a couple questions about it, and she was like, "Yeah, we were talking to people in the crowd," and I was like, "During the show? Are you supposed to?"
Yeah.
But that makes a whole lot more sense.
Someone actually came in a '90s limo to the show. They rented a limo that was like from the '90s, and they came in like they were coming to prom in the '90s. It was really neat.
That's awesome.
And then after the limo was taking them home, and they invited everyone out to come like take pictures and videos with the limo. It was really fun. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you think? What aspect of dinner theater do you think is that keeps people coming back? Because I'm sure you have a decent crowd of people who are like, "Oh, there's another one. I'm going."
Yeah, I would say the fact that there is so much improv and it's so unpredictable. It's like every show is different. No matter, we've had people that have come and seen the same script and still had a really good time because it's so different from show to show, depending on who you pick on and what's going on. Does give them an advantage when filling out who done it at the end if they've already been to that show. But we try to skip we try to switch it up, not have.
I was gonna say, does the script allow you to kind of like change who it may have been?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Some scripts do. Yeah, and that's another thing too. This is a little insider secret. if you have a crowd that doesn't solve it, typically there's usually like a red herring in the script who could do it, but like there's a few things that, you know, tip it off to being the other person more than that red herring. But there have been shows where no one in the audience has gotten it completely right, and we've had to pivot when we're reading answer forms and said, okay, this actually does make sense that this person could have done it because they're a red herring. And so we have done that and pivoted from time to time. But for the most part, it's usually like you know who the killer
Someone's
is.
Gonna get it right. Yeah. Okay.
Or at least the actors know who the killer is. And sometimes there's more than one murder during the show. Like it starts with the murder, and then usually, this is also an insider secret, you're welcome. Usually there's a second murder that happens, so you have to solve both murders. And then whoever most accurately solves it wins a prize. Yeah.
Okay. Are all of them murders? Like, are all dinner theaters like
No.
whodunits?
The ones that we do, yes.
Okay. This seems to be the most fun.
We did do a stand-up comedy and dinner show, which ended up being, I think, a little more than I bargained for. I don't know if we're going to keep it. We were experimenting. We're like,
Right.
let's see how it works. And I think there were some kinks ironed out with that. But almost all of our dinner theaters are all murder mystery dinner theaters.
Okay.
But they're dinner theater in general. I mean, not Laughable Productions ones. If you go to the Dells, like there's that big dinner theater that's across the street from the Wilderness. Like they produce all sorts of shows that include dinner that aren't murder mysteries. But we typically do murder
So then
mysteries.
would you say that the term dinner theater may almost exclusively deal with the idea of dinner and then a murder mystery?
A lot of times people do tie dinner theater with that. Like,
Okay.
And especially like murder mystery dinner theater has become kind of like they're paired together so much that, you know, people think they're synonymous with each other. But you can have a dinner theater without the murder mystery. Like my wife went to a Britney Spears dinner theater at that Dell's place, and I was like, I'll watch our kid while you do that. I'll stay home. I'll take one for the team and hang out with the kiddo while you go sing Britney Spears songs and eat dinner.
Yeah, I've taken a couple bullets like that for sure. No, honey, you go enjoy.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about dinner theater?
Probably the improv and the audience interaction. I really am much more of an improv guy than I am like a stand-up comedian. Like I would consider myself a comedian, but I would much rather do improv than stand-up. And so I love the audience interaction and just like, I've gotten pretty good at, during those shows, the back and forth with the audience. I think those are some of our biggest laughs when we're like interrogating people and they're saying stuff and we're playing on it. Like, I think that's definitely probably the most satisfying part for me. I think also just like having fun with like everyone that's in our dinner theaters, you know, most of them are all my friends, you know, like people that are in theater or in comedy. So it's a nice outlet to just hang out with your friends too. You know, it's the first 2 hours during dress rehearsal, not so much fun, but you know, the show itself is super fun. And then, you know, we like to hang out after. We'd like to, you know, have a good time, hit the town when we can. And that's you know, part of the experience as well, as just bonding with the folks that you're doing theater with. Cause it is, I mean, it's an art. It's a fun way to express yourself, and I think we all have a really good time with it.
Groovy. I love that.
Yeah.
Making me want to try it.
Let me know.
Oh God.
We could do one. We could do one around here. You know.
I haven't acted since like right out of high school. And
You used to act?
yeah, I did. I actually performed at the Fox Cities PAC.
Really?
In one of the smaller rooms. I do have my signature on one of the back walls.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, good friend, long time
Why'd
friend.
you stop?
So the guy I was acting for, his name is Martin Prevost. He still does a lot of stuff around here. Love him, great guy. It was just, I was really young, really kind of dumb. So there was a while there where like I wasn't keeping in touch with people.
Gotcha.
So I kind of just fell out of it.
Gotcha.
And then, you know, life hit me in the face. I started doing comedy, as you're aware of.
Yeah.
And it's just, Martin and I have started actively talking again about like getting more of his stuff around here at Madworld too.
Yeah, for sure.
So theater is definitely still in my sight.
Okay.
I will revisit that bag in the future.
Yeah, I know you got your plate full with all the comedy stuff, but you definitely should Theaters.
Speaking of comedy,
Yeah.
we are both pretty active in our respective comedy scenes.
Yeah, yeah.
I obviously much more up here with Appleton, Green Bay.
Yep.
You down there, Oshkosh, Milwaukee, Madison people.
Yep.
I'm curious. I've put on now, including open mics, well over 100 shows.
Nice.
I want to know, as a producer, what are your 3 favorite things of working with so many comics? And then what is your absolute least favorite thing about working with so many comics?
Probably my favorite thing would be I love booking people who make me laugh. Even if I've seen their set before. And as you know, I mean, you book a lot of people that you've seen their set before, and you don't want to book people blind either.
Yeah.
I love sitting in the audience and watching and listening to their set, and I'll laugh, genuinely laugh. If I've heard a joke before, I still laugh. I really do enjoy that aspect of it. I also love people that are easy to work with. People that are just like chill, go with the flow. I think there is definitely there's a part of like having an ego in being a performer and a comedian. I think that comes with the territory, and I think that's healthy to a point. And I think this kind of goes into one of my negatives is I hate it when people have egos that get in the way, that is like, you're trying to, like, I'm never trying to take advantage of people. I always try to pay people fairly, book good shows, have good technology,
Yep.
And I think sometimes like, there have been instances with people that I'm not as familiar with that, not that have gone wrong, but have just kind of like rubbed me the wrong way, And I've still booked some of those people again on other shows. It's not like I'm going to cut them off and never book them again. But if you're easy to work with, I mean, I think that's a big thing that producers look for.
Yes.
My third thing that I love about booking and working with comedians would probably be, I don't even know if I have a third thing.
I'll say you covered a lot with those first 2 answers.
Yeah. I don't know. The third thing would be the same as with the dinner theaters, just having a good time,
with your buddies.
Yeah, with your buddies. Like you've obviously probably gained a lot of great friendships from people that you book and from doing shows and open mics and things like that. And so I think that's definitely something that I really value, is just having an overall good time and shooting the shit with people, and just being around people that are like happy and funny is just a good for your outlook in life in general. I'm a firm believer that the more positive you are, the more good vibes that you're bringing to situations, like the more your life is going to prosper. So
especially as a comedian, if you're just a nice person and you have you don't even necessarily need like a upbeat positive vibe. If you're just like, people can feel when you're a shitty person.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, as long as you're just not that, a lot of people laugh at pretty much at a lot of stuff that you'll say because you're a likable freaking person.
Exactly.
So yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that.
Yeah.
You've worked at a lot of venues around the state. This is a question I try and ask a lot of people that come on here because I'm always curious. What are some venues that's like you've worked at and you're like almost foaming at the mouth to make sure you can get in there again?
Good question. So murder mystery wise, we did a Valentine's Day show with celebrity chef Adam Pavlak. He's been on a ton of cooking shows. He won Cutthroat Kitchen. We did a murder mystery on Valentine's Day at the Milwaukee Public Market. We're doing another one in October there. They are awesome. I think we're going to produce a comedy show there as well this summer. I have nothing but amazing things to say about them. They have an amazing team. The facility, the market downstairs, has all the vendors and everything. They have a nice event space upstairs that they really balled out for us. It's especially with us. We don't have a home base. So when we can partner with a venue that really wants to ball out on decorations and, those are the venues we love. The Oshkosh Arena, they have been amazing to us. I mean, they have a really great team that really, really cares about putting on good shows. And so they have really prioritized production value and promoting and things like that, which I really appreciate them. I do think, like with comedy, it is, People have made this comment a lot during Oshkosh's Funniest. It's like, I'm in this big arena, but they do an okay job of making it feel more intimate with some of their curtains and bringing tables in and things like that. I think that they're just in general, like what they do for the Oshkosh community is really amazing, and it's a really great outlet for Oshkosh, and I'm really glad that they are in Oshkosh, and I'm honored to be a part of that. I should probably give a shout out to a Fond du Lac venue because we started in Fond du Lac. Comedy shows at Blue Line Tavern downtown are awesome because their back room is like a comedy club. Right. Very intimate, very nice. They have a stage. I do enjoy going there. And then Prairie Theater it used to be UW Fond du Lac. They have a theater and like an event center there. And the county owned it. So when UW Fond du Lac closed, the county took possession of it because it was theirs that they owned. They were leasing it out to UW Fond du Lac. And they decided to make a venue out of it. They have offices for some of their departments in the other wings, but then they have an event center and a nice PAC, and we have a nice agreement with them. We do multiple shows there a year. That's where the 90s prom one was. Right. And we have another one, probably will be a few days after this releases. It's a judge and jury improv comedy courthouse. They really just let us run with what we want to do. They're like, what cool creative ideas can you bring to Fond du Lac and bring to our venue? And then they're like, let's do it.
Would you maybe be willing to expand a little bit on the judge and jury thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, dig into that a little.
Yeah, so it's a new thing that we're trying. I don't know if anyone around here's done anything like this, but basically it's like, if you think of like People's Court or Judge Judy, but like all live improvised on the spot with 8 different improv players, and then all derived from audience suggestion. So the cases is going to be derived from what the audience suggests, and then like we're going to bring people up from the audience to be witnesses and to do reenactments, and it's all going to be really, really funny. We got a bunch of really funny improvisers that are on the show, and Chris Calogero is producing it with me. He has been featured in the New York Times. He's got a really popular Twitter or X.
Chris is very funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you've had him here, haven't you? Or
no, but I've seen him, and then we were
going to have him here. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, Chris is great. He's been on Funny or Die. I mean, he's awesome, and he moved to Madison, and I got introduced to him by Will Eisenberg.
Now I've had Will Eisenberg.
I know you have that. He is a character. It's so funny. His like stage persona and like who he is. He's so serious all the time, and then he gets on stage and he's like so goofy, and I'm like, what is? But he's in our murder mystery, so I love Will. But he introduced me to Chris, and I was like, Chris worked on Judge Judy, and I kind of had this in my back pocket for a while.
What?
Yeah, he used to work on Judge Judy, the show.
All right.
Yeah, he has a wild background.
Yeah, well,
we gave him so much love in this podcast. Yeah, he's awesome. And when I heard the Judge Judy thing and just like wanting to get more involved with him, like he's done our murder mysteries, and we've been booking him at other shows. I was like, dude, you got to produce this show with me. Let's run it. So I'm very excited for that show next weekend. It's May 30th, Saturday, May 30th at Prairie Theater in Fond du Lac.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just gonna plug all my shit.
No, that's we've had a lot of guests. I don't think enough guests have plugged enough things of their own stuff.
Well, I appreciate that.
I want to dabble on Oshkosh's Funniest for a second.
Yeah, let's do it.
We already have been through round 1.
Yep.
I believe by the time this airs, we'll have already hit. When's round 2?
June 19th.
Oh no, this will be up before then. We have round 2 coming up.
Yeah. You
want to talk about that at all?
Heck yeah. I was about to say I was like, can we swear? What does my mom say? Yeah, Oshkosh's Funniest Comedian. This is year 2. Round 2 is coming up on June 19th. We have, I think, the comedian that you referenced earlier that you were talking trash on, Caleb.
Mr. Robertson?
Yeah, Caleb Robertson's going to be at that round. Yeah, we got 12 great comedians that are going to be competing for a spot in the finale. There's 4 different rounds. The winner of each round goes on to the finale in September. We had a great time last year, and we are running it back this year. And the goal, is to crown Oshkosh's funniest comedian. We have 10 to 12 people at each round that are competing. There's an audience vote and a judge's vote that combine to pick the winner. And then that winner goes on to the finale. And then in that finale, we crown Oshkosh's funniest comedian. And people have been, not everyone's from Oshkosh. It's like with comedy competitions. You go to Madison's funniest comedian or Madison's funniest comic. People come from all over the state to do it. We've been seeing that too. I mean, people are really, really excited about comedy competitions. And so we've got a really good reach and a really good pull of just local comedians that love doing shows. And you have people that are like seasoned veterans that are in it, and that like, last year we had people that have been on TV shows and, that have like a professional IMDb pages. And then you have other people who've been doing the open mic rounds, and both, it's really cool because everyone last year was competitive. Like there wasn't a single dud last year that was on the show. We had over 40 comedians. They were all hilarious. They get 8 minutes in that preliminary round, and then if they make the finale, they get 15. And yeah, judges vote, audience vote, crown Oshkosh's funniest.
So I do want to clarify, just for the people at home.
Yeah.
Just because it's Oshkosh's funniest doesn't necessarily mean you have to be from Oshkosh.
Correct. Yeah, thank you. That has been some of the
confusion,
yeah.
It's just the title of, hey, you won this in Oshkosh.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You won this at a venue. The people of Oshkosh voted you Oshkosh's funniest comedian.
Yeah. Reviews.
Yeah.
So you started out by doing a review for a restaurant in Fond du Lac by the name of the Big Garlic.
Yes.
What compelled you to go, what is already a busy plate for you? Mm-hmm. What compelled you to go from dinner theater to adding comedy to adding competitions over multiple months to thinking, you know what, I'm going to do some reviews too?
Honestly, that day I was just really hungry. No, I'm just kidding. No, my friend has a video production company, and he hit me up one day, and he was like, "Hey, we should start reviewing some places." He's trying to get his name out there. I love being in front of a camera. It's the narcissist in me,
Yeah.
But I actually was kind of hesitant at first. I didn't know if I really wanted to do it, but he was like, "Come on, we'll just, go. You'll eat lunch. You'll do a little intro outside the restaurant. You'll eat, and then, we can do a little exit piece about how much you liked it." And we chose the Big Garlic. They just opened in downtown Fond du Lac, and like people were like shitting on the restaurant. Like the restaurant literally opened, and within a day or two, like people are like commenting online about how like, "Oh, this was so bad. I hated this." Like, and it's just like normal things that you iron out when you open a new restaurant, right? And they were really successful. They are really successful at Stevens Point. Very, very excited that they're going to be in Fondy. They have like boozy milkshakes, really good burgers. And so we were like, let's go review it and try to see how we like it, and maybe give them some positive press for, to combat some of these people in Fond du Lac that were being negative. And the more I've lived other places and learned, I used to think, oh, Fond du Lac's so negative. Fond du Lac's so negative. Fond du Lac can be very negative, but there's negativity in every community.
Yes.
And I've learned that, since moving to Oshkosh, I'm on a lot of those What's Happening Oshkosh pages, and I see the people, and it's like, people in Fond du Lac are so critical sometimes, and they're so mean, and they just like don't give things a chance. And I'm like, wow, why does Fond du Lac have this problem? But then you move to Oshkosh, and you're like, whoa, Oshkosh is doing the same thing. Like they're,
Then you moved to Appleton.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's how it really started. We went there to try to get them some good promo. We came up with BG Reviews, BG, my initials, but also Big Guy, Ben Giles Reviews, the Big Garlic. And it went so well. Like that first video, I think we had over 30,000 views on Facebook the first couple days. And then, same with TikTok, a lot of love on TikTok as well. And so then my buddy was like, hey, let's make this a regular series. So then we moved to the farmer's market, which I know we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We did the farmer's market review, and we got more coming. So I'm very excited about that.
So before we talk a little bit about the farmer's market thing, there's two questions I have about the first part.
Yeah.
One, who is your buddy?
Who is my buddy?
Got to make sure he gets a shout out.
I appreciate that. His name's Alan Martinez with Studio Solutions.
Studio Solutions, yeah.
Yeah, you met him. He was at Oshkosh's Funniest.
Yeah, we chatted for
Yeah, so he's been doing a lot of video production. He honestly, dude, he's like decked out with his equipment that he has, and he's a really good editor too. I'm very impressed. He's one of those guys that like when he gets a hobby, he just like really dives into it, and you know he like took this hobby to the next level by actually starting a business, and he's been signing clients and getting people to, you know, advertise. Like he's making a lot of really good promo for them and doing a lot of really neat videos. And him and I kind of like tag teamed on this just to bring something fun and positive to the area.
Right.
And we're not just going to do Fond du Lac. I mean, the first couple that we have are all Fond du Lac based, because a lot of the people that follow me and follow Laughable and stuff have like derived out of Fond du Lac. So that's where we're starting, but we plan to go all over, so we're very excited about that.
My second question, probably the most important question about the big garlic.
Yeah.
How big is the garlic?
Oh, it's big. It's big. The big garlic, so in my review video, I was talking about, I had my election party there when I first got elected. The space itself is a really nice space. I don't know where the name comes from. I don't know. Like, there's not like cloves of garlic on the wall or anything.
My man.
That's me, big guy Ben Giles.
That big guy Ben Giles.
Yeah, there's not like, I don't know. There's garlic in a lot of what they do. Like they have like these like truffle fries that are, you know, that are, and they have like a famous garlic aioli sauce. So like, I think that's where the name originates from. But I would say in terms of size, you know, big guy Ben Giles is probably larger in size than the big garlic. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just joshing. I hate watching myself on screen sometimes because my stomach is so freaking big. Like we were talking about being Santa earlier. It's like you can see why people want to be Santa.
Yeah, it's not helping that this isn't necessarily red and white colors.
Yeah, exactly.
Go Bucky. So you did most recently, I believe the video dropped either today or yesterday. The Fond du Lac Farmers Market. Mm-hmm. What was the goal for reviewing the farmers market? Because obviously a restaurant, you know, it's a single place, people can go there. Farmers markets are always kind of slightly changing in ways.
Yeah.
What was the goal?
One of the big things was they just banned dogs at the farmers market.
What?
And people were like really mad about that. So
I don't even live
we were kind of talking about that internally, and we're like, well, let's go see if people still go. See, there were so many dogs there, like not just like dogs, but like there were dogs there, yeah. And then like apparently like people were posting on some of the What's Happening pages, being like, they aren't enforcing the no dogs rule, like free your dogs. So like there were just dogs all over the place. But like one of the things I love doing at Oshkosh is bringing my dog, well, two dogs, but the more calm one, bringing my dog to the farmer's market with a kiddo and walking around. And you know, my dog's an attention whore, you know, she just eats that shit up, like, and all the pets and all the love. But the farmer's market, we thought it'd be a good opportunity to highlight a ton of, like, there's a ton of local businesses that not only line Main Street that have footprints there, but also all the vendors. Like, there were so many vendors there that day. I feel bad that, you know, we only got to highlight so many. The video is already 6.5 minutes. I think it's maybe a little too long for Facebook, but, like we talked to so many more people at the farmers market, and we had to really like cut it down because, you know, there were so many vendors there. But we just want to give them some love and you know, show that like the downtown is a great place to be. The farmers market is a great place to go on Saturdays, and we had a great time. Like I think it was like, it was nice because the focus was like vendors and businesses and such, and like the focus wasn't me. Like in the big garlic, it was just like watching my fat ass eat a burger the whole time. Whereas like this time, like we actually got to showcase a lot of businesses and have fun.
Right.
And I almost ate shit, as you probably just saw right there. I tripped on the curb, and Alan decided that it'd be great to put that in. He edits all of the video. I thought it was funny, so I was like, fine, keep it, whatever. But I was like this close from taking a face to the cement. But I don't even know what you asked me anymore. I'm all frazzled after thinking of myself almost eating shit.
Are there any potential spoilers you might want to give for future reviews?
Sure. Actually, by the time this podcast comes out, the review actually might be live. There's a new spot in Fond du Lac called the Passenger Lounge, which we might start doing some shows there too. I don't know. But it's an old train station, really old train station.
Oh.
It used to be like the most poppin' train station, like in the Fox Valley. Like back when people were riding trains, dude. Like
what does that mean?
Like no, like literally, like it's right on Military, which was like a huge Fond du Lac. Fun fact about Fond du Lac was almost the state capital. Back in the 1800s, Fond du Lac was one of the most populous cities in the state, and it got voted second. It was second in consideration for the state capital. And their Military Road used to be a very popular thoroughway. Ton of trains, not just for transporting goods, but people. Mm-hmm. And there was this old train station in downtown Fond du Lac that was just sitting vacant for like the last 20 years. Like there used to be some other stuff. Like they used to have a flea market there and stuff from time to time, but someone bought it and revitalized it and made it into a venue for music, comedy, drinks. And so Saturday we're going. One of my buddies is in a band. His band's playing there. We're gonna go review the Passenger Lounge. And then this is the big spoiler, which this place does not need more promo, but we love this place. We're going to Pete's Garage. I'm gonna say this publicly, so I hold myself to it because I've had some self-doubt, but I am going to. So we're gonna do a review in Pete's Garage.
Yep.
And then I'm going to live stream the Beat My Meat challenge that he has, like the big eating challenge.
That's a burger, right?
Oh, it's a burger, all right. It's like 4 prime rib patties, 4 burger patties, a shit ton of bacon, mushrooms, onions, a mound of fries. Like I don't think anyone's ever, maybe someone has done it, and the best part is Pete always, like when he posts about it, he always talks shit about the people that try it.
Well, that's
their thing.
That's the whole thing.
They always talk shit. And so, I talked to Pete about it. I was like, hey, we're going to come do a review here. I mean, he was great. Last year, he sponsored Oshkosh's Funniest, and he was the after bar for all of the shows, and he's the after bar for round 1. Probably will be the after bar for the other rounds.
Yeah.
It's so close to the arena. I mean, he knows how valuable the arena is to Oshkosh and how many people love going to Pete's after arena shows or before.
Pete's is great.
Yeah, it's real close. It's a great environment. We have an outdoor area. God, I gotta stop plugging Pete's. It's like I'm a Pete's spokesperson. But yeah, so I'm gonna stream the Beat My Meat. His meat will probably beat me, but you never know. I mean, I'm fat. Just because you're fat doesn't mean you're a good eater. But I can put down a lot of food. So we'll see. I've been mentally preparing myself to do it. So that's gonna be coming out. Who knows when? But
you're a good eater?
Yeah, I would say. I mean. Unfortunately, when you get to be this big, you don't just doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of overeating sessions.
Happy wife, happy life type stuff.
Yeah. My wife is not fat like me, which is great for me. I'm just kidding. She's not fat, but I am fat. Are we editing this?
So, some of the kids these days use the term eater as someone who's performing fellatio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the happy wife. Happy life.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
That went way over my head.
I think you.
I am also a good
once
eater.
You were going into my wife's not fat. I was like, good lord, that's not even close to what we meant. That'll get cut.
I mean, I don't care. You can do whatever you want. Just don't take my day job.
Just don't tag my day job. Oh, good lord, that's funny. Ultimately, what is the impression you want to leave on guests, whether it's comedy, whether it's dinner theater, when someone is leaving a Ben Giles Laughable Productions? What is the impression you want to leave?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is I want people to have a really good time, and I want people to laugh their ass off. I mean, we almost solely produce comedy shows,
yes.
Whether it's a dinner theater or a stand-up show or improv. And I want people to walk away, having that good hearty laugh multiple times during the show, feeling themselves, just feeling overwhelmingly more positive and, like they want to just go on and take on the world with all this joy we've given them.
Yeah.
But like Laughable Productions, when we first started, it's kind of a interesting name, like a laughable production. I want all of our productions to be laughable. I want people to be laughing at Laughable Productions. And the other day when I was on the radio for Promote Not Trust Funniest, they were kind of ribbing me about the name, and they're like, even if you have a bad show, it can be a laughable show.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't have many bad shows. We've had a lot of really good shows.
I haven't been to a bad show yet.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And I'm hoping you guys can come to a murder mystery soon. If there's one that works for you, let me know, and I'll get you some tickets.
Where is the easiest places for people to find your information?
LaughableProductions.com, our Facebook, Laughable Productions, our Instagram, Laughable Productions, or you can follow me, Ben Giles. I have a Ben Giles page on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Emphasis on the Facebook and TikTok. I don't do shit on Instagram. Well, I do for Laughable, but
right.
The Ben Giles page on Facebook and the Ben Giles TikTok, those are more like my passion project stuff. I promote Laughable on there. But if you want to learn more about Laughable Productions, definitely our Facebook page, Laughable Productions, and our website are the best places to learn about us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we will have every link in the description for everyone to be able to just click on.
Sweet.
You guys, this has been another episode of the Madworld Podcast. I'm your host, Brooke. Ben, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good night, guys.